Hello, marketing. Welcome to class today. Sorry I couldn't be there. Austin is in the process of going to the doctor probably at this moment when you get this, so we're trying to see what's going on with this congestion. But needless to say, here you are today, and we were left off with the training as a process, and you were explaining, demonstrating, trying, and critiquing each other. And here's what I want to see. Today I need you to finish these. I need you to record them. So you can record them and turn them in whatever fashion you can. Use your phones or use the Chromebooks, because the Chromebooks can record too, and get yourself taken care of as far as the training process goes. But that's the first thing, and that shouldn't take you very long. You're talking about try to keep it within 3 minutes. I don't want to see a video longer than 3 minutes. If it goes longer than 3 minutes, you're taking too long. You need to shorten down your process. Okay. Once you finish that, the next slide you're going to go to is the compensation and sales quota slide. These are just forms of compensation that salespeople get. Straight commission, that's a percentage. Straight salary, that's an amount you make per month for the entire year. And then salary plus commission, you can have a combination of those. Usually the best is salary plus commission, because then you can guarantee yourself a little bit of money, but then there's incentive to do even better as far as your sales are concerned. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find a business that has identified themselves as one of each of these and plug that into this slide. Okay. Another thing that you'll see are sales quotas, dollar or unit sales goals set for each staff, and if they meet that, they get bonuses. See if you can find any of that information out there, and plug that into this slide. So I'd like to see a little bit of everything in this slide. Just find the examples and paste them in here. The next thing after that, you're going to go to compensation and sales quotas. Some things to think about, like legal and ethical issues, sales pressures, sales contracts, sales regulations. On this information, I just want you to go find me some definitions. Okay, what's a sales contract? What are some sales regulations that exist out there? What pressure would come along with having a sales quota or a percentage of compensation based on how many sales you have? What kind of things would occur in that environment? That's what I want in this particular scenario. And then what legal or ethical things do you think might come up when these things come into play? That's all I need on that slide. The next slide starts section 2. It's sales as a career. I want you to give me an example, and I want you to define personal selling. And then a career in sales is just to lead us to the next few things. So some of the careers in sales that you might have are retail business. A lot of this is customers are pre-sold due to advertising. Really all I want you to do here is give me an example of something right now that you know of that's a retail business. The next one is industrial and service businesses. This is more based on organizational selling, and it usually is an exchange between two or more businesses. Where would these sales occur? And can you give me an example, two businesses that do business with each other today? Below that is a cold call. This is when you visit a potential buyer without an appointment. That's just a definition slide, because the next slide is going to get you to do a little bit more. So in this one, types of sales positions, telemarketing and nonprofit. I know you all know what a telemarketer is. And what I would like you to do is I'd like you to write your own telemarketing script for the school store, requesting a purchase and finishing out the information here in red. So if you need to pause the video to do that, please look at this and do that assignment. Once you get done with that, this is just a quick question. That really, you can answer it if you want to. It's just for thought. There's a do not call registry. It was started in 2003, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't work for me. I still get random solicitations all the time on my cell phone, so I would say that's a bogus thing, but they still say that it exists. Other types of sales positions, you got internet websites and sales in that regard. It's real simple, real easy. Just paste a link to a website or an image to a website right here and show me that you know there's sales that occur online. eBay, Amazon, the list goes on and on. But I just want you to name a few here in this slide. So after you finish that one, that's pretty easy. The next thing we look at are the steps of the sale. And some of you were trying to demonstrate some of these early on when we first did our first script that we wrote. But now, the thing I want you to do is I want you to really consider approach the customer. After you approach them, determine their needs. Who are they and what do they need specifically? Then you're going to present the product to them, whatever it is you're trying to hawk or sell. When you do that, you generally want about 3 options. You don't want to just have one option because that doesn't allow you to overcome some of the objections you might hear. So after you present the product, usually you're going to hear some kind of objection they're going to overcome, and you have to overcome it in some way. So we'll talk more specifically about presenting the product and overcoming objections when I come back on Wednesday. But just want you to be aware that this is the meat of the presentation. This right here. Once you overcome the objections, you're going to close the sale or you're done and they're on their way. But after you get ready, as you get ready to close the sale and collect money, you might do some suggestion selling to go along with it. That's where, like, if I bought a pair of shoes, I might suggest that you buy some socks or maybe that spray that keeps them fresh or whatever the case may be. That's a little bit of suggestion selling there. Sometimes with cars and homes, they'll try to sell you a warranty. Just some examples of suggestion selling. Finally, to close it out, you want to build the relationship with that customer because you want them to come back. You want them to be a consistent revenue. You want to be at that reoccurring revenue. And if you don't build a relationship with the person, you're probably not going to get that. The big thing, and the hardest thing maybe to understand in selling is you're not going to build a relationship with everybody. And when you first start doing this and you first start actually selling to people, that can be kind of humbling because you may have 100 calls or 100 people that you visit with and you might not sell 2 things. So you can't let that stop you, though. You got to hone your craft. You got to get better. And you know who the good salespeople are because they get you to buy stuff. It's pretty simple. And usually it's because they've gotten to know you before you bought it. And now you feel like you have to buy something from them. So keep that in mind as you read these steps of the sale and how that relationship gets built within all of this. So when I determine needs, I'm not necessarily asking them if they need the product particularly. I'm speaking more to do they need just things in general. What do they do? What are they trying to do on a general basis? And then go from there. But we'll do an example. I'll do a demonstration in class. If you get this far, that's great. But this is just informational for now until I get there on Wednesday. Customer decision making. This is one I want you to look at. I want you to identify situations where the customer is going to be doing some extensive research to make a purchase. Is it a limited time purchase, or is it one of those routine purchases? And I want you to create what that dialogue might look like for each one of these scenarios, when it's an extensive purchase, a limited purchase, or a routine purchase. And I'll let you decide and figure out which products those might be because I'm kind of curious what you can come up with. Okay? And then the last slide, this again is something that will take place later in the week and something you can just look at for now. And I have adjusted this slide. It said Black Friday sale. I have since changed that because I wasn't satisfied with that. So we're going to make it different. In the voice team draft, when the main managers are going to draft you guys, you are going to have to sell to them a pencil or a toilet lid or a half of a foot long ham and cheese from Subway or a 4 foot by 5 foot window size picture frame or a wireless mouse or a Wilson Little Kids red, white, and blue 27.5-inch basketball. Those are going to be the options you have to sell. And so you're going to have to put on your best sales presentation following the steps of a sale, and they're going to pick you based on how well you can get them to buy any one of those items. So we'll focus on that on Wednesday when I come back. I'd like you to finish those other activities before then. So hopefully this video has prepared you well enough to do the activities before we get to this point. And then Wednesday we can talk about the steps of the sale and how you're going to do this. And then Thursday, maybe even Friday, probably carrying into Friday, we'll start having you pitch to the voice people or the managers, and you'll get picked. All right, I hope you have a great day. Please get your work done so we can keep going on. We have lots of good things happening here in the next week, week and a half before Thanksgiving, and we really want to get these things started. All right, thank you for your time, and have a great day.